Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us today. Well, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new week, which means it's a brand new opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins today. Of course, you have news headlines coming up on this Monday. Have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, today you're hearing part of my conversation with Deborah Presley Brando discussing her brand new book. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In Mississippi news, 60-unit tiny house village to be built for Jackson's homeless, says WLBT Channel 3. An abandoned state facility on Capers Avenue could soon make way for a 60-unit housing village for the homeless. Details of the Space Place Safe Space project were discussed at a recent city council meeting. The CEO of the Jackson Resource Center said the village will include approximately 60 tiny homes, as well as a communal kitchen and other facilities to provide individuals the resources they need to transition into permanent housing. Building this would get us as a city going in the right direction, the CEO said. It would definitely pull a lot of our homeless in West Jackson off the streets. The village will be the first of its kind in Mississippi. Similar villages have been established in other cities across the country, says WLBT. The briefing comes months after the city of Jackson issued a request for proposals to develop a safe space campus, and about 6 months after they acquired the Capers Avenue site from the city. JRC was the only firm to respond to the request. The CEO says the village will provide similar services to the ones offered at JRC's Langley campus and Yellow House. Over the last year and a half, we've seen a lot of success stories with individuals coming in, the CEO said. Some are still there that came in when the doors opened. Some have transitioned out and gotten their own individual spaces. The first phase will include approximately 60 tiny homes, each equipped to serve one person and their pet. The units will include electricity and running water and also provide tenants with a sleeping space, desk, and bathroom facilities. The homes are $4,500 a unit. We have to bring in plumbing and electricity, which makes it about $9,500 total, the CEO said. You can literally house somebody for $9,500. That's unheard of in today's society. The safe space will also include a community kitchen, which can be used for all tenants, as well as other facilities to provide resources such as case management and health services to help people transition into permanent housing. In national news, congressional negotiators strike key deal to unlock bipartisan funding work, says The Hill. Congressional negotiators have struck a spending deal unlocking bipartisan negotiations to determine how to fund various government agencies through most of this year, says The Hill. Sources from me are confirmed to The Hill that the agreement was reached late Friday night, capping off weeks of talks led by Senate Appropriations Chair Patty Murray and House Appropriations Chair Kay Granger over how to divvy up funding for the 12 full-year government spending bills. Roll Call was first to report the news early Saturday. Spending Cardinals had been hopeful to receive the allocations weeks ago after Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced a deal setting top-line numbers for appropriators to work from to set the allocations. In more national news, Biden says U.S. shall respond after drone strike by a run-back group kills 3 U.S. troops in Jordan. President Joe Biden said Sunday that the U.S. shall respond after 3 American troops were killed and dozens more were injured in an overnight drone strike in northeast Jordan near the Syrian border. Biden blamed run-back militias for the first U.S. fatalities after months of strikes by such groups against American forces across the Middle East amid the Israel-Hamas war. Biden, who was traveling in South Carolina, asked for a moment of silence during an appearance at a Baptist church banquet hall. We had a tough day last night in the Middle East. We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases, he said. After the moment of silence, Biden added, and we shall respond. In more national news, Biden offers fresh assurances he will shut down border right now if Congress sends him a deal. Bidding to salvage a border deal in Congress that also would unlock money for Ukraine, President Joe Biden offered fresh assurances Saturday night that he would be willing to close the U.S.-Mexico border if lawmakers would only send him a bill to sign. Biden, also eager to disarm GOP criticism of his handling of migration at the border, said at a political event in South Carolina that he would shut down the border right now if Congress passed a proposed deal. And finally, in entertainment news, a quiet weekend at the box office with The Beekeeper on top and some Oscar boosts as the Associated Press. Movie theaters and audiences settled for seconds this weekend. With no new wide releases on the schedule, a mob of holdovers sustained the North American box office, which was led by The Beekeeper in its third week of release. That made the top 5 movies over the weekend. Number 1, The Beekeeper with $7 million. Number 2, Mean Girls with $7 million. Number 3, Wonka with $6 million. Number 4, Migration with $5 million. And number 5, Anyone But You with $5 million. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Your life is not a failure. Your future is still ahead. The ending you want is still possible, and your best days can still be ahead. Have an amazing Monday. Deborah Presley Brando is in today's Entertainment Spotlight. We're here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Deborah Presley Brando joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her brand new book and her own personal story. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Deborah, thank you again for the time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, Deborah, I have the book here on my Kindle. It's available, of course, on Amazon, but also wherever books are sold. We're going to remind our audience of that. And it's really so interesting the way you've written this book, Deborah, because I think, we all kind of think about, especially individuals like Elvis, and think about the spotlight. But you take us back to a time where the world was very different, Deborah, when you grew up. And there was not, of course, all that we have today with the internet and 24-hour news cycles. What has it been like for you to see the way that people are responding to your story, Deborah?
It's been so touching and so uplifting. And let me say one thing. I love Jackson, Mississippi, because I was conceived somewhere between Jackson and Memphis. That's where my mother met my father. They met up in June of '55 there when he was playing close by. But anyway, I'm just so touched because it's truly a spiritual story about healing and generational healing. And my father was forced to just shut up and sing. And basically, my story is just about faith and, the power of the human spirit and triumphing through suicides and my husband's accused of murder, which he didn't do, and just how we can get through anything if we just hold on to our faith and keep going.
Yeah, and that is what is so fascinating to me, Deborah, and that's why I'm so glad to speak with you, because I think a lot of times we hear these names, right? We hear the Presley name, we hear the Brando name, and we don't always remember that there are lives attached to that, right? And part of what you've been able to do in this book is to talk about the importance of belonging. So talk to us about that for yourself. What has it been like for you to know that you are in a place where you actually belong?
Well, I think a lot of it goes back to, I'm Southern. I was born in the South. I was raised Mormon. And I just believe that, we all, in the South particularly, is still conscious of this more than most places. I'm in Hollywood right now, and it's like, a foreign language. But spirituality is, we're all from the same place.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll have to get on tomorrow's more news, message in my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.